welcome to Sit Back with Saheli, episode 4, where you're joined by the wonderful Pranija from Roy Events and Nishma from Doves and Peacocks. How are you both?
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you?
You sound so shy. Don't be nervous. We can all be comfortable on our pink sofas over here. So I'm sure you've watched a couple of episodes by now, and you know that we're just looking to understand a little bit about the business. We want to get to know you both like much better, and we're just going to have a little bit of fun today. So are you ready?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So obviously, Pranija, I think we both started around the same sort of time.
We did.
And you focus predominantly on decor and florals. You know, what brought you to where you are now?
I think ever since I was like in school, I just had like a creative flair. So I tried the whole corporate, like the finance and like that side of things, but realized it's not for me. Like the creative route, like it's definitely more my kind of style. So yeah, I think it's just kind of like I've always been like the one organizing events with like friends and family. So I think it's just started from there, and then I kind of found my niche with flowers and decor, as I love being creative. So I think that's where it kind of all started from, really.
And would you say you specialize in florals, or you're able to kind of offer the whole sort of decor
I
package?
think in terms of like the services we offer, it is floral design and event design, but we can just focus on florals, and because just everything about flowers is just really pretty. So yeah.
Like, have you ever done some sort of like floristry course or something? Because I mean, as much as I would call myself creative too, I cannot put a flower arrangement together. So
yeah, so I think it's kind of so I've done like a course as well, and I think it's kind of also something that's kind of been passed on from my mum. Like, so she is like the kind of OG in like like creative mastermind behind all of this. Okay. So yeah, so she, ever since I was young, like, I've watched her make like flower arrangements and kind of see how she does it, and I just like picked it up over the years. So yeah, I think that's where I get like all the skills from, really. What
would you say is different in your offerings compared to some of the, like, you know, major florists in the industry right now?
I think it kind of all depends on like the client. So it's like the client experiences what I'm kind of offering. So if like a client comes with like a certain type of budget, I would just be like, no, it's not something that I can do. I'll tailor the arrangement to the client rather than straight up being like, no, your ideas don't fit within our budget, if that makes sense. Like, so it's kind of
that honesty and working with them to make
exactly
it work.
Yeah, so it's kind of that kind of level of service that I'm trying to offer, and kind of just be like extremely creative. So like not saying like, even if you're a Pinterest bride or even if you're not, like it doesn't matter, like trying to come up with like
extract those ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Them. Yeah, so kind of it's like every client is individual. Everything is bespoke. Like there's no sort of like cut, copy, paste, like kind of thing, like a service that I provide, really. Yeah.
And I suppose that really ties in well with Nishma, because you are always extracting ideas from people's minds too. So tell us about the world of stationery and kind of how you got here.
So my background was actually design and advertising. So I started out working in advertising for about 10 years, started Doves and Peacocks just as a way of kind of injecting that kind of personal touch to people's days, and it seemed to really you know, it really took off, and people really wanted that kind of personal touch, and knowing that they had something designed especially for them rather than it being run off the mill kind of design. I went full time with it a few years ago, but we've been running since 2012. So wow. Yeah, so it's been amazing, and like my clients are honestly the best because they kind of push me to my limits. Like, you know, they'll come up with something really wacky, like a really crazy theme that they want for their reception, and I've got to try and find a way of actually making sense of it and actually doing, you know, how do we incorporate that onto paper.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously worked with both of you quite often, but I've seen in Nishma, in your like contracts, you have like some sketches there, some like a little bit of ideas, and like I suppose to an extent you're really giving them this extra value to show that you're designing something completely different for them. Do you sometimes feel that they can take those ideas and run with them somewhere else?
Yeah, there is always that worry, but I think that's the case across the whole wedding industry, to be honest. I think for me, it's if I've come up with the idea, a lot of the time my clients are kind of baffled with how I'm actually going to even make it happen. So I think them having the faith in me to say, okay, she's come up with this idea, I don't know how she's going to do it, but we'll leave her to it. So I think yes, there is the fear that they can go off with the ideas and do them themselves, and maybe that has happened a couple of times, I don't know, but generally speaking, most of their clients are like, get so excited with the whole idea of working together with somebody that's designing something for them, that they're kind of happy to go ahead.
And would you say there's something that you specialize in? Obviously I know you're doing wedding invites, you're doing the place cards, table names, everything. Would you say there's something that you like enjoy the most, or even just that like you've got that on lock? Like,
to be honest with you, I love doing invitations. That part is quite nice because it does frame like how everything else could possibly look. But for me, the most fun, I guess, is when you have a client. So I had one last year at Christmas time, and they were like, and they were like, we want a Christmas themed reception, and that was the brief. And so, I said, oh, let's do an advent calendar table plan. And they were really like, how do you even make it? Was like life size, right? Yeah, it was life size. It was taller than me, and but that was brilliant because it was something that was so different. But it was, I got to see like their guests interacting with it and getting excited, and then so in turn the couple were just as excited. So that just made it even better.
So like nice because it obviously gives someone something to talk about, but it also just changes the whole dynamics of an event, right? Like stationery can really change the whole look of a table, for example, with menus and place cards, and it's those extra little details and touches. Do you feel like more people these days are paying more attention to stationery?
I think they are, I think especially in the Asian market. I don't think it was a thing before, and I think now people feel like it's like that cherry on top of the cake, on the cake, ice cream, no, sundae, cake. Okay. Basically, it's that it's that little extra touch that kind of makes everything feel a bit finished.
Cherry on the top.
Cherry,
it's on the top.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking I was like, is that on the cake? Cherry, just on top.
I've tried saying that thing before and I've still got it wrong.
Okay. No, but you're completely right. And I suppose in the same way that people, I suppose in the Asian wedding industry, most people prefer to go for a one-stop shop, somewhere that's a little bit easy to just get everything from. And I suppose with your service, it's not quite like that. You're able to give them something that really gives them value with their flowers and their design. So you're bringing that special
It's like kind of like collaborating with like her sort of like stationery, where it's like the minute details and like the whole event design side of things, which kind of just work together. And that's what now is like coming up, rather than the generic kind of.
I think before, like people just clients, even people just around us, don't realize that we all actually know each other and that we all actually enjoy working with each other and constantly are collaborating. So I think it's nice that they're really appreciating that and seeing that even if they do go for a few different people, in essence we're all gonna bring it all together.
And then we all talk to each other.
Exactly.
And I think people don't really look away. But like people don't realize, because I've had that a few times where you'll speak to somebody, a client, and they're like, oh, these are my decor people, and you're like, oh, okay, like fine, I'll see what they say, or this is my wedding planner, I'll see what they, and then that helps, and they're shocked that you
shape your
talk.
ideas and the way you kind of want to move forward with it. 100%. Amazing. Well, it's nice to hear a little bit about your businesses. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the second part of the show, which is the games round. Okay, so obviously you're both incredibly creative people, and I wanted to kind of see your talents in action, but I thought it'd be way more exciting if I make you swap roles. So we're going to have a timer of 1 minute. I think 1 minute's enough. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll give you a little bit longer.
I think.
I'll give you a minute and a half. In a minute and a half, Nishma, you need to decorate this table as beautifully as you can with the beautiful props I've given you. And Pranija, with the crayons, that one biro that you'll find in there somewhere, and the sketch pad, you need to design as much event stationery for this place setting as possible.
Oh wow.
Okay?
Do you have to make it as well?
Yeah, it's, you know, rip paper, I don't care what you do, you
Wow,
just make as
okay.
much as possible, okay? So,
Are we collaborating? Can we collaborate?
Can we talk?
No, because the winner, so if you use the most of these props and it looks good, if you create the best amount of stationery and it looks good, you will win this
I
wonderful.
really want that.
Oh, same. Oh, the game on then.
So you are competing against each other.
Oh,
And
okay.
we're gonna have some fun. She found the biro. Okay, so on the clock.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this.
On the clock. Starting with 90 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh. That came in the way. Oh. Okay. Can I move your...
No, you can't.
I was going to do the table. Right. Oh, it's not a square piece.
We had to make things a little bit difficult. At least it's pink.
This is true.
I mean, the fact of the day is, what maybe I shouldn't have allowed is, Pranija knows calligraphy. So, let's see what she gives us today. Because if she doesn't like my name in beautiful calligraphy, she's disqualified.
Okay. I'm not going to go into details of the menu, but you know what I mean.
I feel like I'm going to knock it over now.
Oh, fine.
How long on the clock?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've run out of flowers now.
This actually doesn't look that bad.
Thanks. I try. Oh,
And
Okay,
that's
wait,
time, guys.
Oh my God. Sorry.
We're going to have crayons all over the set. Okay.
Okay, you've got a place card. And you... Oh, that looks really good.
It
Oh,
looks really pretty.
Nishma
I mean,
is
you know
winning.
what? Like, I think we all kind of know who's already won.
But you can't give me that 1.5
also,
minutes
the
to make...
fact that, like, you didn't even use any of the colour. Like, I gave you so many beautiful colours.
she did.
I was trying to make some...
You didn't
calligraphy,
have to show off all
okay?
the calligraphy. Nishma,
Maybe we'll just...
you have taken it away. I can't even... Yes. I feel like you didn't even
I'm very competitive.
have to compete.
This is unfair. She had a better prom. Blame the...
I mean, those, you know, that beautiful pink, you know.
I'm actually quite proud of what I
Yeah,
managed.
actually,
Well
said
done.
the same.
Thank you.
Well
Hope
done.
you enjoy it.
Oh.
I think it's a great gift.
It.
So let's, yeah, you can share it with P
Can
if
I?
you want.
Oh, let's see what's in it.
Oh, you're opening it.
Oh, can I open it?
Yeah, you can if you want. No one else has. That's why I
Oh.
was like, no, but you can. You
Oh.
can.
Bullshit.
Ooh. I'm glad they reacted nicely. Otherwise,
Yum.
And I am loving chocolate right now.
Yeah.
It's like a craving.
I'm really glad you're enjoying. Okay, so
okay.
we're gonna move on to the third part of our show.
I feel like that needs to be done again. Just saying.
I mean,
It's not my best work.
It's okay. You can
I'm quite
You can
happy.
be prepared, but it's fine. Now you get to move on to the rapid fire round.
Oh, God.
And as you guys know, that with the rapid fire round, you have 10 to 15 seconds to answer each question.
Oh my God.
And it's just to see how interesting your answers are. Okay. So since you did win, let's start off with you, Nishma. Okay. Best theme that you've worked on. This is
Game
what
of
you
Thrones.
wanted to do. Worst theme.
Oh, a movie theme. But the clients thought they were the designers, so it all went a bit pear-shaped.
Favorite thing to design? I know we touched on it earlier.
Favorite?
Thing to design.
I would say the table plans.
Your addition to a colouring box, what colour are you?
I am red.
Your funniest memory from your own wedding?
Oh God, so the best man, basically in the speech, bearing in mind I had never really like got drunk, thrown up and did all of that until I met my husband's friends, and so he decided to tell the entire wedding like party at my reception that, oh, by the way, Nishma, you probably should stop partying and getting drunk and throwing up right in front of everyone. And I was like, it happened once.
Speech. If you weren't in the industry, what job would you have 9 to 5?
I'd probably be still in advertising because I loved it, but this got busier.
Fair enough. Horror movie or comedy?
Comedy.
Theme park or day on the beach?
Day on the beach.
You've just won the lottery. What do you do?
Pay everyone's mortgages.
Oh, that's really sweet. Where does everyone stop? Oh my god.
What are your favourite industry?
Yeah, I was kind of like, wow. Make the face of the emoji that describes you best.
Oh, I'm the girl that does this all the time.
Which is literally what she just did, like pay for everyone's mortgages. Okay, amazing. Nishma. Pranita, ready?
Yeah, okay.
I'm starting off easy for you, okay?
Okay.
Favourite flower?
Peonies, hands down.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, I would say, this is really hard. Bubbly, enthusiastic, and ambitious.
Obviously flowers have lots of different seasons. What's your favourite season?
I think it'd have to be autumn for sure. Like the colours the flat floral colours in that season are just insane and just so pretty.
She's like really upset autumn is like gone.
Nearly over, I know.
What country would you move to if you had a choice?
I think Singapore.
Oh.
I went there last year and I went to the Singapore flower market and the gardens. Like I think it's just like a place for me. Like it just has to be.
What would you get arrested for?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, this is very difficult. Maybe drinking on the street? I don't know.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Vodka or rum? I know you're a gin person.
No, vodka.
Okay, yeah. I tried to avoid gin because I thought maybe that was easy then. Gin or rum?
Rum.
Okay. You just won the lottery. What do you do?
I think.
Are you gonna pay my mortgage as well?
No, I don't think. Not everyone's basically, but I think probably. I think kind of like expansion of raw events like on a massive scale for sure.
So
business,
direction.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't win the lottery and be like, I'm done.
No, I think I would probably like invest a lot and try and grow this to like the next level.
And what is your emoji?
It has to be that one.
That is cute, eh?
Yeah.
The monkey.
Yeah.
So before we come to the end of the show, I want to know both of your 3 top tips for future bride and grooms, and then you both have an opportunity to ask me 1 question. So, Pranita, let's start off with you.
I think one of the key tips I would give brides and groom would be pick your theme, like have a theme in mind and like kind of just go off it. Like there needs to be like a starting point, and then that way your creative juices can just flow and it can be like as intimate as you want or as big as you want, and just like enjoy your day. Like once the day comes, don't stress about anything else and just like leave it to a pro like you to just make sure it runs properly. Yeah.
Give it the Hamper.
Yes, it's mine.
And 2 and 3?
Oh, it's 3 each. Okay. What else would I say? I think give yourself enough time as well. Like I think with decor, what tends to happen is it tends to be like the last thing that a client comes to, like as in whatever's left in the budget, then they'll be like, okay, let's make this pretty. I think that's not the right way to go. I think if you want, because then it comes with certain expectation, being like, okay, I've got this much budget, I just want it to look like amazing, and it's not going to happen when it's the last thing you do. So I think you do need to consider it from the start. Yeah. And second, like the last thing I would say is flowers are expensive. Like as in I think everyone kind of like the most common question I get asked is, what should I budget? And I think you do need to
if you want fresh flowers
if you want fresh flowers at your wedding,
yeah,
exactly,
advance, right?
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Of course. And Nishma, your 3 tips.
Mine would be, if the bride and groom are thinking about a theme, then I would definitely say ask yourself what makes you as a couple, because I think if your friends can turn up, or friends or your family turn up at your event and they're like, oh my god, that's really cute, that's so them, then I think that's the nicest, most memorable detail that your family and friends will take away, you know. So I think that's 1. 2, I would say with stationery, it's similar in the sense, like, allow time. The longer, if you imagine, like, the longer you leave a designer to mull over things, design things, then you're gonna get the best out of a designer, as opposed to trying to cram everything into like a 3-week period.
Of course.
Because you get the best ideas sometimes when you're, you know, doing other things, and you need that time 100%. To kind of mull over it. So just allow enough time. And 3rd one, I would say enjoy the whole wedding process, planning the wedding process, because it can get really stressful, but generally, you know, you sort of, you're only going to do it once, and you kind of,
the whole point of it, right? While it's happening.
So enjoy it. Yeah.
And what would you guys like to ask me? I'm scared because Prinny just here.
So I was going to ask you, if you were a superhero, what superhero would you be, or what would your powers be?
My power would definitely be to fly. It's the most cliche answer, but I just feel like, in the most cheesy way, I have wings. I have wings, and I think it'd be the coolest thing ever. Go where you want. Teleport was one, but I don't think, like,
I agree with that one, actually.
I just think, like, you can still fly wherever you want.
That's true.
Just not as quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were invisible for a day, what would you do? Like, how would you spend it?
I mean, this is my work brain talking, and this is probably, like, not going to get me a lot of love from the other wedding planners in the industry, but I think I might just turn up at their events and see how they do things, and just kind of understand, you know, like, what everyone does that's so different, or what's making everyone so special.
Yeah.
Get shot about it. Okay, well, thank you so much for both being on the show.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
I'm looking forward to working with you soon.
I want a round 2 for this. I'm not happy with this.
Next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on your notifications. See you next month.